Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18,
16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
don't listen to this.
Can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If you're 18 and up,
don't do it.
If you're 18 and up.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is Eric.
Sean.
What up, guys? It's Jorge.
Welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast. This is the episode of Chappaquiddick. Chappaquiddick is an interesting story
that you've never heard of.
Yes. It has to do with the Kennedys. And I know we've been on a bit of a Kennedy thing.
They're a hot topic.
Kick.
Yes, exactly.
Kennedys are hot.
Most people don't know about this story, and so it's...
Yeah, I didn't really know about this until we, dove into it.
I only knew about it because Eric kept saying the word Chappaquiddick, and I was like, what does that
over and over and
mean? Like, what is that?
And just to clear it up, so Chappaquiddick is an island
Yep.
in the New England area.
Like a Martha's Vineyard type thing.
Yeah, it's a small little island.
Expect a lot of Boston accents going on today.
Yes. Yes, we've been practicing very hard.
I got a number.
Yes.
How do you like them apples?
Matt Damon, we need you.
Please, the guest star.
So let's go. So Chappaquiddick. So the Kennedys, right? You guys know about the Kennedys. And the Kennedy family, most people just talk about JFK and RFK and all that sort of thing. But the Kennedy family in itself, and we're going to start with Joe Sr. Joe Sr. was I guess you call it the patriarch of Kennedy's family.
Kennedy?
Yeah,
Papa Kennedy.
King Dick.
Yeah. Papa Kennedy was an ambassador for the U.S., in the war, and that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
It's a whole other story.
How'd you make all that money, Joe?
Yes. So that's a whole other story that we're not going to dive into right now,
but maybe later.
Sean really hates Joe Sr. Kennedy.
He's such a piece of shit, dude. The guy's fucking dick.
So the Kennedys, though, had 9 children. Joe had 9 children.
That is so many kids. I can't even imagine having 3 kids.
Yes.
Oh.
So
That's normal back then, though.
yeah, kind of normal.
Kind of.
Were they Amish?
Maybe not.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
it's
not
pretty
that
normal.
much.
It's like a village. It's a village of
Was it
children.
normal to have 2?
Well, Elon Musk talks about it. Back then, it was a thing to do.
Yeah, well, Elon
That's what I'm
Musk
saying.
Elon Musk also has kids with multiple women. So it's a lot easier when there's multiple
Oh, shit.
Next episode.
I can have 9 kids with 9 women. Easy peasy.
At least 9 sexual times.
I've had sex 9 times. I have 12 kids.
Batting 100.
I'm actually batting 1,500.
Of the kids, there were 4 boys, 5 girls. Okay. Of the 4 boys, so let's talk about the boys because back then boys that was the only thing.
Unfortunately, this is not us,
Right? Like
this
back
is
then,
true,
let's
it's
be
true.
honest.
This is
right?
societal. This is societal. This is not us.
So there was a Joe Jr., there was John F. Kennedy, there was Robert Kennedy, and then there was Edward Kennedy or Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy. I don't know why. I don't get the Edward to Ted.
Edward to Ted.
Oh, because it's like Ed, Ted.
Yeah.
So Ted sounds better than Ed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's just weird.
So in 1944, Joe, which is the older brother, he died in World War II.
Hero.
Okay, so he was the guy. Like he was the
man.
oldest.
He
He was the
was
oldest boy. He was. Remember, like he was the good-looking man.
And
like,
the dad was, this is my guy.
This is
this
the
is
guy.
my guy.
Yes, this is my meal ticket, or this is my.
He was already rich, but
yeah. So he died, and he actually died in England, and he was flying it was a prototype partial drone plane, and he went on a mission, and then
It's weird. It's
didn't work
weird
out
that they would send him on like the prototype.
Right.
They're like, let's
Right.
trust us, bro. It's theoretically it should fly.
So he was the oldest, and he died in 1944, and then in 63, JFK is the next oldest. He became president. La la la. We have 6 episodes on JFK.
6.
So like,
Check
go
'em
back,
out.
check him out. He died in Dallas.
Yes.
Lee
Yeah, we
Harvey,
went over that
the whole
in
thing.
full detail.
Yeah, full
9.
detail.
Yes, we have
Check it
6
out.
hours. Check that out.
Literally.
Yes, of JFK. So that's 63. In 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in L.A. at Ambassador Hotel.
And Robert F. Kennedy was the Attorney General.
That's right.
He was the younger brother to
That's
JFK. He was the rising star. He was going to run for president.
He was running for
Yeah,
president.
he was running for president at the time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, and we're going to do a full series on this.
And he
I'm
would
not
have
even kidding.
won.
Honestly, I
100%.
love Robert Kennedy.
He's
I really
great.
do.
He's
Yeah,
great.
we're
I
gonna do a
really,
whole-
I really dig Robert
He
Kennedy.
crapped down on the mob. and, like,
He was. They said that he was the most shoe-in for president in history of.
besides Nixon. Well, Nixon got,
Yeah.
got like 85% of the vote.
Absolutely,
It's like that.
absolutely. But I'm just saying he was going to
Similar
become
to
president.
Biden. Is it real? I don't know.
Tit for tat.
Don't you get to use that. So Robert Kennedy was killed at the Ambassador Hotel in 1968, right? So basically, Joe Kennedy died, JFK died, Robert died.
Okay.
So all your brothers died. So you're Ted Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
All your brothers died.
The last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, honestly, like it's actually pretty upsetting.
It
like,
sucks.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over a period of time, all your brothers have died. So at that point,
Like a
in
5-year span? Something like that? would you
well,
say?
I mean, 60, 68, 63,
And then
44.
44.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just a series of bad.
It just
They
sucks.
call it the curse of the Kennedys.
Yep,
and
yep.
it's the males, and there's more to that. But
Yeah.
the point being is that just imagine you're the remaining brother.
And you're just
That's
like
the point. is
depressed.
You're the remaining brother.
You're just, I'm going to drink whiskey.
Yeah, and so you're.
fucking party,
But
some
like
girls.
everybody's pressuring you to become president.
You're supposed to be your brothers,
Yeah,
bro.
like, you're gonna be the president. You should be.
Look at all of your other brothers.
Yes.
They're
Yes, you're the Kennedy. You're a Kennedy. You're a shoo-in. You're gonna get it. Anyway, so that's where we are. We fast forward now to 1969.
Right.
So here we are, 1969.
Got it.
So Ted has now lost all his brothers, and he's deciding whether or not to run for president. Okay.
All right.
So he decides to put on this, I guess, reunion, and it's
And
called.
at the time, he's a senator, correct? He's a senator at this time?
Yes, he is
Okay.
a senator.
Yeah.
Yes. So he decides to put on this like reunion of all the people that helped with the campaign for Robert, who died the year before.
Okay.
It's almost like an anniversary. It's kind of strange. It's a bit of an anniversary for the year before.
Let's get lit.
So there's
Fucking party.
yes. So there's so he decides to go to Edgartown and to participate in the annual Edgartown Regatta, which is like a sailing event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's done it many times.
Classic rich white male thing.
Yes.
We're not sailing.
Yes. When was the last time you went to a regatta?
0 times.
Yes. Yeah.
I've never been invited.
But he had gone many, 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 many times. I think he's gone over a dozen times to this thing. You know what I mean? So he knows the area.
He's a regular.
He knows Chappaquiddick Island. He knows all about it, right? So he invited a group of friends and campaign workers to a party on Chappaquiddick Island that was to be after the race.
Yeah, I'm going to race.
Okay.
And then we'll drink.
So they go to this party. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what they do in the 60s.
I know, like the
Skibbity-dap.
It's like a fucking it's like a swing barbecue.
Yeah,
Like a
barbecue.
swing band playing in the background.
Yeah. And later on, you'll find out that there was no alcohol found.
Oh, they just scrubbed that shit off the fucking
What the hell
map.
kind of party is this?
Yeah, crazy, right?
No, there was booze.
Yeah.
They just dumped that shit out.
Yeah.
Totally,
You know
right?
they
Yeah.
dumped it.
There's 11 people in their late 20s.
I mean, this is the...
You boys looking
are-
to party, but no booze.
Coca-Cola. So attending the party was his 2 closest friends, who were also lawyers, which is Joe Gargan and Paul Markham. Okay.
These names, they sound like fucking like Marvel villains.
So these are a pair of aides, a civil defense official named Raymond LaRosa. He also invited 5 other young women who were part of the boiler room.
Classic.
The boiler room.
Send me your 5 hottest young ladies.
So the boiler
Send me your
room.
5 hottest boiler room ladies.
So nowadays it sounds weird to say the boiler room, but
Yeah.
then
That's
it was
a good movie, Boiler Room.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
that's
that's
a
what
good movie.
everybody
It was
thinks about.
Giovanni
You know,
Ribisi.
Yeah,
and-
Giovanni
and
Ribisi
Ben Affleck.
and Ben
Yeah.
Affleck. It's a
Yeah,
good movie.
it's a good
Solid.
movie. I like that.
Good sales movie.
So he invited these 5 other women who were part of the campaign to help Robert Kennedy become elected. So they were
like,
doing calls.
They were on the phones.
They were doing
hitting the-
advance man work. You know, they would call to set up the venues.
And they were
would book the
young.
things.
They were
Yes.
and hot.
No, and, you know, and point of note, they were all in their early 20s.
That was part of the stipulations of RFK. Was like,
Yeah.
you're not working for me.
Yeah.
If
They're
you
all in
helped
their-
and you're over 30, get the fuck out.
he's like Leo. He's like, once you're 27, you're fired.
So that who was with them was Mary Jo Kopechne.
That sounds like a wholesome name.
Say it again.
I'm Mary Jo
Mary Jo
Kopechne.
Kopechne.
I mean, she sounds like she was like churning butter like on the farm.
Yeah. So, and then I just put this part into this storyline, which is that one of the aides said that he said he stocked the house party for a dozen people, and he stocked it with 3 half-gallon bottles of vodka.
Half gallons. Damn.
Yeah. 4/5
Trying to get
scotch.
Damn. How many people were at this party?
12.
Damn. Woo! That's okay.
This is a
keep going.
12-person party. So 4/5 of scotch, 2 bottles of rum, 2 cases of beer.
Jesus Christ. Couple 8 balls. like, my God. That's enough. That's like a 70-person party with the drinks.
But you'll see later on that Kennedy said he had a Coke.
Oh, my ass.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. He had some Coke.
yeah.
Okay. So here's the
kind of
setting.
Coke.
Here's the setting, right? You're at this party. You had the
Boiler room girl.
no, you had the sailing race, right? Then your driver drove you from the mainland hotel to Chappaquiddick Island, where the hotel is that Gargan got. Gargan got this hotel or this Airbnb. Call it an Airbnb. It's like a little house, right?
Yeah.
And they come over, and
Shit stocked.
so here we go, party time. Party time.
with enough booze for
Party time.
for 60 people.
Oh, yeah.
Now here's the weird part about this. In my opinion, it's weird. It's all the men are married.
And they have a bunch of young single gals.
All the women are single.
Okay, this is like
all the women.
This is like a sex party.
Yeah, that's not that weird back then.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I know, but I'm
or
I'm
even
laying
now,
it out.
like,
And,
you're
and
just
they're all
so-
like, we're your bosses.
yeah.
So all the women are single. All the women are 10 years younger. About
And all
in their
the guys
early
are married.
20s,
It's a
and all the
fucking
men's
party.
are later.
It's a party
late
for
30s.
sure.
I wonder what they told their wives. Honey, stop asking questions.
So Kennedy. So this is
I'll be back
this
tomorrow.
Is, Kennedy's wife, Ted Kennedy's wife, had 2 miscarriages
Oh, fuck.
prior to this,
Sucks.
and then she was pregnant, and so she
At the
didn't
time
come
of this party.
At the time of this party,
Right.
So she didn't come because she was not feeling well.
Okay.
That's what Kennedy
so
said.
that's the quote unquote.
That's what
She
Ted Kennedy
didn't
said.
come because she wasn't
Yes.
feeling well. He
Yes.
was like, "You're not invited. You're not coming."
Yeah,
sorry.
No, he was probably like, yeah, I just gotta go to the office.
He's like, it's political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear
You don't want to hear
this
this
stuff.
stuff.
It's
You don't
boring.
like,
you
hey,
know?
Get this.
Like, I don't even want to go.
yeah, just stay home.
My driver has been waiting for
I don't
20
wanna
minutes,
go.
but I gotta go.
Okay, good. So we are now at the party. They're partying. They're drinking.
A 12
whatever.
a 12-person
Maybe.
party.
We
Which
don't
is
know if they're
hilarious.
drinking. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're partying. We're having the rum and cokes. We're having the
I know the multiple
scotch.
half gallons of vodka.
3 half gallons of
3 half gallons.
what the fuck?
What's a half gallon even look
Jesus
like?
Christ.
Fuck.
It's a handle. Or no, it's a half a handle.
Yeah, no, it's a
half
handle. No, it's a handle.
In Spanish, you call it pata de elefante.
Pata de elefante. I like that. We got tres pata de elefantes.
So now we go a little bit. The party's going on. It's now 11 p.m.
Are they like dancing? Is it like
Yeah.
what kind of party
No,
is
yeah,
this?
It's a fucking
there's a part
party.
here.
Is
There's
it like a
part here.
DJ?
I'm not even kidding. There's a Congo line. A witness
A
says
conga line?
there's a Congo line.
Oh, they're
going.
grabbing butts.
Yes.
They're super grabbing butts at this conga line.
100%.
But I think from what I gather, they were toasting to the vision of Robert Kennedy. And together we were going to create something great, and then it was shot down by an assassin's bullet. His aide, which is named John Crimmins, Kennedy told John Crimmins, his aide,
John Crimmins.
he handed him the car keys, and he said that he and Kopechne were leaving. None of them said goodbye to their friends, which is weird because
There's only 12 of them.
Ted is also hosting this party.
I'm out.
So he said,
Deuces.
we're leaving, right? So what's even stranger is Kopechne didn't grab her handbag, and she didn't grab her hotel room key either.
Ooh. Oh, the mystery.
The girls were staying on the hotel at the mainland.
Yeah.
So there's a fucking hotel key.
So where's Teddy? Where's Teddy staying at?
Teddy's also staying at the home.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only 2 people who were going to stay at the Airbnb.
At the crib. Yeah.
At the
party
Chappaquiddick
location.
Airbnb. Yeah. But she didn't grab her handbag. She didn't grab her hotel room.
Maybe she was taken.
So she didn't know she was leaving.
No, she had no.
knew.
She had no
He
clue.
knew. Yes.
He's like, I gotta ask you something else. Let me ask you.
So it's supposed that Mary
garbage.
Jo. It's supposed that Mary Jo thought she was going to come back.
Oh yeah, she thought she was gonna come.
She definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Well,
you
Ted
leave,
thought he was gonna
No,
come
I
back.
mean,
Come
you
on
leave
back.
you leave all your shit. You're gonna
Yeah, I'll be
you're
right
like,
back.
oh, okay, I'm gonna take Jorge home.
No, he probably was like, let's just have a
Hey,
little chat
he's
ski
a little
outside.
crunked. I'm gonna take him home. I'll be back in 15.
Yeah, I'm
You know
gonna leave
what I
my
mean?
handbag.
I'm gonna leave my shit. Yeah.
No, he definitely was. Let's go talk in the car.
Yeah.
No, you know what he
let's go
actually
talk
said?
about
He was
Let's go for a walk.
let's talk about your future.
Oh god.
That's 100% what he
Yeah.
said. Let's talk about your future.
Another strange point in this is that Kennedy doesn't normally drive.
Oh, I thought you said he talked to his driver though.
He has a driver.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, but he
Did you
got-
say he told the
No,
driver
no, he
like,
got
"Yo,
Told the
we're
driver
leaving"?
that he's
He got
gonna
the
leave.
Oh,
He
I
got
thought,
the keys from the driver.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he said,
Yes.
"Yo, driver, just get the fuck
No,
out of here."
no,
He got the keys.
He said he was gonna go drive
Okay.
Kopechne home.
Ted, you haven't driven in
But-
7 years.
Yes.
What are you doing? Like,
Yes, that's the confusing part in this whole thing is he doesn't drive.
Do you even remember how to do this?
The driver
He was probably
drove.
like, "Where are we going?" No. I'm driving.
So he had a chauffeur drive him to the party.
Right. No,
You're a Kennedy.
that's definitely weird.
You know what I mean?
Sure, 100%.
Yes. Okay.
I get why you're saying that was weird because at
Yes.
first it's
Yes.
step outside for
So-
a second. Let's just talk about your future.
Look, you got a bright future.
So Crimmins, the driver, Crimmins said that he had driven Kennedy back and forth multiple times that morning.
100% he's the driver. That's
the
his
driver.
thing. That's what he does.
He's like, ah, shit, I forgot my shoelaces. Give me back.
He's like, he drives him.
So later on, a judge asked Crimmins why Kennedy chose to drive. Crimmins said that he chose to take Kopechne home because she wasn't feeling well.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But nobody else there later testified that she wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, because she was feeling.
So he was the only one who said that.
She was feeling just fine.
Yeah.
And he was.
Or they were crunk. And they don't know what the fuck was going on. They're just like,
dude,
I don't know.
I'm happy with this.
I'm worried about myself.
So
It's
this
like,
is the story.
All the younger ladies here.
This is the story of Kennedy. Keep in mind, right? I'm going to tell you from the perspective of Kennedy.
Right.
Kennedy says that he left the party. He immediately drove 1/2 mile north on Chappaquiddick Road, headed for the ferry landing because you got to take a ferry
Right.
from the island.
Oh, that's
to
where you
the
like drive your
mainland.
car
To the
onto the
mainland,
ferry?
or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
right. He mistakenly made a wrong turn right onto Dyke Road, which is a dirt road.
He made a wrong turn onto there's the one motherfucking road. There's
Yeah.
two roads.
There's
on this
two
whole-
roads.
There's two
Yeah,
roads
there's actually
on the
two
whole
roads,
island
yeah.
that he's driven back and forth
No.
multiple times.
Many
He
times.
hasn't driven though.
Oh, he was.
His driver did.
His driver did.
So
He was
He's
like,
been going there for 30 years.
Oh,
Remember?
That's true.
He's been going to the
Come
sailing
on
thing
now.
for 30 years. Okay.
he's like, I think I'm gonna make
Drives
a
me
right.
crazy.
Yes.
So
He was gonna make
I'm
out
gonna take a-
point. He was gonna make out point.
So he
Yeah,
says,
take a ride on Lover's Lane.
exactly.
so he says he mistakenly made a wrong turn and he turned right dirt Dyke Road instead of bearing left to stay on the paved Chappaquiddick Road.
on the actual road.
That was only 2.5 miles to the ferry.
It probably said like dead end to the right. He's just gonna make
Yeah.
it right.
He can like see the ferry over
Yes.
there on the left. He's like, nope, I'm
Nope.
going right.
Okay, so per Kennedy, he's driving down on accident onto Dyke Road.
Whoops! It is this.
So there's a
Whoops, there's my dick.
Oh my God! My pants fell down. But Jesus!
whoops.
Oh, can you please help me? Help me, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So then now we're going to change perspectives to the part-time deputy sheriff named Christopher Huck.
Yeah, the
Remember
lead.
Huck? No, I mean it's the only sheriff that's on the island.
I know,
it's
it's
the only
one
guy.
dude.
Yeah, it's the one guy.
What's the chances this sheriff is paid off?
Like 98.
I don't know. After you hear the testimony, you would be like, he's not paid off.
All right, let's go.
So he says he left work at 12:30 a.m. and he was a gate guard in uniform for the regatta dance. And he returned to Chappaquiddick Island in the yacht club's private boat, and he drove east and south on Chappaquiddick Road toward his home. At around 12:40 a.m., after he passed the intersection of Dyke Road, he saw a dark 4-door sedan driven by a man with a woman in the front seat. Approached him, and it passed slowly in front of him. The car drove off the pavement onto Cemetery Road, and it stopped.
Damn, Cemetery Road?
Right.
Damn, like the symbolism here is like
Damn.
crazy.
So, thinking the occupants of the car might be lost, Huck stopped and walked towards the other vehicle. He was 25 to 30 feet away, and the car reversed and started backing up towards him. He called out to offer help. The car moved forward and veered quickly eastward onto Dyke Road, speeding away and leaving a cloud of dust. Huck recalled that the car's license plate began with an L and it contained 2 7s. This was later verified. Kennedy's license was L78-207.
My
And it
thing-
was an Oldsmobile.
like, why didn't, like, okay, for example, if I do that now, and there's a cop, and I'm, bloop, and like skirt off, they're going to be like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
I know.
What's happening? Like, what are you doing that's
I know.
sketchy, you sketchy motherfucker?
I feel like Huck didn't have a lot of power.
Huck was like, I just
Yeah.
want to go home.
Yeah.
I'm
He's like,
fucking
it's
tired.
12:40.
I was at the Regala.
It's literally the same time.
This sucks.
So
I'm getting paid $8 an hour for this.
So that was the Oldsmobile. And he returned to his car and he continued his way south. So if that's true though, that's at 12:40 a.m.
Okay, we're gonna mark the timeline.
Yes,
Okay,
so
12:40 a.m.
12:40 a.m. So Kennedy said it was 11:40
When this happened?
when he left.
Oh, so it's been an hour. What were they doing for an hour?
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, and this is a tiny island. It's not like you can really go far. Oh, so he pretty much they had been there for a while.
Yeah, who
they'd
knows?
been pulled off.
Who knows? And that's the mystery of
Exactly.
the story is what happened in that hour. You know what I mean?
A little bit
Lot
of
can
bump
happen
and
in an hour.
grind, a little bit of.
I don't see nothing wrong.
So about a minute later, 1 minute later, Huck saw Kennedy's party guests, Nance and Mary Ellen Lyons and Ray and all that. They were dancing in a conga line down the middle of Chappaquiddick Road.
What?
Dude, they were lit as fuck, dude.
He
That
stopped.
was like after like 2.5 gallons.
A couple rums.
He stopped to ask if they needed a ride. They declined.
They're
La
like,
Rosa
"No, we're
and
good,
the
homie."
Lyons sisters corroborated Huck's testimony about meeting him in the road in the exchange.
Hey, y'all,
But they were
y'all
unsure
good? Y'all
of the
good? Y'all want-
time.
He's like, y'all good? You want to ride? Like,
They're like, fuck off.
hey,
Listen, listen.
hey,
listen.
hey, conga line.
So now the next part of this story is very murky.
Okay.
It's very foggy, very, we don't know, right?
Speculative.
But essentially, Kennedy and Kopechne were driving in the car, and he went over this bridge, and the bridge, it had no guardrails.
It was like a bridge you go over when you're golfing. And they have a little
yeah,
wood,
yeah.
little-
Wait, so this is not the ferry bridge? Like not
No,
not
this
on
is
the way to the ferry?
No.
No?
No, you took the wrong turn.
Right. Okay.
So
An hour later.
and this
So
is
there's
the contested
another
part.
bridge on this island?
It's two bridges.
Okay, where does the bridge go? I don't know.
One bridge
Like,
to the mainland.
I thought
One bridge to the mainland.
One fish, two fish,
Oh.
red fish, blue
no,
fish.
there
What's up?
definitely no
Like-
bridge to the mainland. Otherwise, you would not need a ferry.
No, this is just connecting parts
Just
of the island.
whatever. A fucking
Yeah, it's like
weird
a
ass
little- it's
bridge.
like a little water
Another
passage.
bridge. Fine.
It's a good point. I like that.
Part of the conspiracy.
A fraction of a second before Kennedy reached the bridge, he applied his brakes and lost control of the car, which launched over the southern end of the bridge, and it plunged nose first into the channel, and it flipped over, resting on its roof.
I mean, how fast was he going?
True.
That's the debate.
Then it launched.
That's the debate. So Kennedy says he was going 20 miles an hour.
No way. No
Dude,
way.
When I'm going 20 miles an hour, I feel like I could run fast in the car.
Yes.
It's so
Yep.
slow, I can't even.
Studies
Too slow.
later determined that he was going 40 to 50.
Oh,
100%,
wow.
100%.
Oh, easy. Yeah, because
And he just did a
You
bad
don't-
turn.
Yeah.
And then
fucked up.
I'm out.
He's probably drunk.
have you lost
No.
control at 20 miles an hour? That's impossible.
Yeah.
No.
I could
Yeah.
be going down a mountain, going 20 miles an hour and not lose control.
No, they recently put up these little, speed detectors in my neighborhood. And I know what 20 miles. I'm like conscious
You're
nowadays.
watching. You know what
20 miles an hour is slow.
Very slow.
And you can definitely react to all kinds of
it's
shit.
like brutally slow.
It's brutally. So he definitely was going 50.
100%.
100%. And he was
It's verified.
And he was definitely drunk.
Okay.
100% verified. He took one of the gallons with him.
Yes.
Okay, so Kennedy claimed in his televised statement that after the car had overturned and landed in the pond below the bridge, he remembered cold water rushing in on him. He had no recollection, however, of how he got out of the car. What? So he drove off the bridge, fell in, and then
Car's upside
now
down.
his memory is
Gone.
gone.
Amnesia.
He has
Yeah,
no
maybe,
idea.
yeah.
So he got out of the car, I guess the window or the door or whatever, and he flew up or he swam up.
Yeah.
What he did remember was struggling to the shore, regaining his breath, and making several attempts to dive back down to the car and locate Kopechne.
How convenient that he only remembers trying to save her.
So true. He claimed that the current was too strong, and he quickly became too exhausted to keep trying to save her. There were no witnesses to this.
So his story is
Yeah,
the
it's
only
a fucking
story.
island. There's 12 people
Yeah,
there.
there's 12 people at a party.
Yeah.
And well, 13.
Everybody else is like,
13,
yo,
including
we're
the
lying.
sheriff.
Yeah,
So-
everybody's partying. There's no witness for
Yeah.
sure.
So, and I'm going fast through this because nobody knows what happened.
Did he account for that hour of missing
No.
time? I also don't recall. I don't
So-
remember anything.
Yeah.
Wife. I don't
So-
remember anything. Wife. Like,
Listen,
yeah.
baby. Girl, you know me, girl. They tripping.
We're talking. We're just talking.
No, she didn't even ride home. I was a good Samaritan. What about the hour? I made a wrong turn.
Yeah. I was driving around, I'm looking, like, where's the ferry at, yo?
Like, said, babe, I haven't driven in 8 years. You know, I don't know what I'm doing.
I haven't
I
driven
lost.
in 8 years. It's probably true.
It's probably
It's
true.
probably true.
Probably has never driven ever.
Okay, so then this is his next statement. So after this, so Kennedy recounted stumbling back to the cottage where his friends were, a 20-minute walk.
But he was there 8 minutes later.
On the way, he would have, by the way, on a side note, on the way, he would have passed 2 houses that had their lights on.
Oh, he could have got the phone and called the cops.
Hey, there's a girl underneath the water.
Save
Help.
us. Accidents.
Help.
Like,
Yes. So on the way, he would have passed 2 separate houses with lights on. 2 doors he could have knocked on and asked to use the phone.
But
he didn't.
In his defense, he's Kennedy. How's he gonna knock on this door and be like, obviously he was doing something with this girl, right?
so he was drunk.
exactly,
And
he was drunk. He
yeah.
basically just
But
he
what
didn't
you're
ki-
saying
maybe
is
maybe he killed her, maybe not. We're gonna get into that, but he definitely something's going on, right? So
But what you're saying is that
he's not
there's
gonna want to
somebody dying. You're saying you're
No, I get that.
justifying
That's true.
like,
That's true.
I'm not just.
It doesn't matter about your reputation when a woman is dying
that's
in
true.
the water.
That's true.
Right?
No, I'm just
No,
saying.
Jorge's just trying to get into the psyche of this guy.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
I get that.
obviously,
I get that.
it's
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Sean.
You're welcome. Me and Jorge will say,
Obviously, it's not okay to let her drown.
we're saying that that's not cool.
That's not cool.
No,
That's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
saying.
also
like,
not cool to cheat on your wife with a boiler room girl.
Not cool.
That's not cool.
On the anniversary of your brother's
Your
assassination.
brother's assassination.
Fuck, so weird.
It's so scary. I'm telling you.
So weird to me.
so not
Dude,
cool.
yeah.
I bet if
So
we go
not
back
cool.
in time, $20 since he pulled that card. I'm just really broken up about Robert. Come talk to me outside.
Damn it.
Wish we had a time machine.
No, don't bring a person.
I wanna know if he
try
pulled
to-
that card
You know what's
or
funny
just-
is I really try to like Ted. I really do. He did a lot later in life. That
Yeah, 'cause he was making amends.
Senator. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
like this moment, it makes me hate him
He's
so
such a
much.
piece of shit.
It's so weird. Okay, so along his path going back, he would have passed a fire station.
He would have passed a submarine school.
Oh, shit, okay.
Like a scuba diving school.
it's a small Chappaquiddick Island fire station. Sure.
So it's
like
just
one
like a Chevy.
guy,
It's like a
probably
Chevy.
maybe 2 guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But still, when
But
there's an
still-
emergency, you normally
There you
look for
go.
the cops. You look for the firemen next.
Even
firemen are second on the emergency
No,
list,
but-
aren't they?
But they're there.
No, but even
and
if-
he's walking.
even in Jorge's statement, he wouldn't want to talk to random people. You can still go talk to the firemen.
Yes,
like
definitely.
They're
Yes,
a
definitely.
civil
Yes.
servant. Like you can go talk to them.
Yes. If there's an emergency and the
I'm
cop's
close.
not there and a firefighter's there, I would talk to the firefighter.
Right.
No?
100%.
All right. We're on the same page. So he passed the fire station. Fuck it.
He's like, they're not open.
Yeah.
They're closed.
So he went
All
back
the
to the
lights are off.
cottage. When he got there, instead of going inside and calling the police, he got into the backseat of one of the cars. And he sat there.
Drive me
He
home.
sat there in one of the cars. And then
Where's
who
Crimdy?
knows how much time passed. But
He passed out. Like
Raymond LaRosa saw him. And Kennedy asked him and said, "Hey, get Gargan and Markham."
immediately.
Those are his
two,
homies.
like homies. Yeah.
Like they're friends from school.
And they're actually
They're
lawyers.
lawyers.
Yeah.
One was attorney general for Massachusetts, and
Yeah, they're all the.
So he's
the main-
sitting in the back seat, and he's like, and the guy comes
Give
out,
me my
"Hey, you
lawyer."
okay?" And he's like,
Give me my
Give me
lawyer.
Markham.
That's
Give me Gargan and Markham."
so the first
Give me
thing
Gargan,
he's,
Markham,
so
and
he
a
starts
half
thinking about
gallon
like
of
how am
vodka.
I going to get
Yeah. That's right.
out
He's
of
like, how do I
this?
get my ducks in a row?
Yeah, exactly.
So Kennedy claimed to have told the two what had happened, and all 3 of them then drove back to the scene of the accident. Again, passing the firehouse and the residence without telling anybody.
For
Again.
for the second time.
Yeah.
The second time. So when the three of them arrived, Kennedy claimed in his statement to have sat and he watched his friends spend 40 minutes diving down into the car.
It's interesting how they took 40 minutes, but I dove down once. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
No, he said
The current was so strong.
No, he says he maintained that the current was too strong.
Yeah, the current was
for
too strong.
either of them to reach and to find her and free her properly.
But if you look at the photos, this water is 6 feet deep.
It's super small.
It's like
the back of the car is out of the water.
It reminds me of Robin Hood Men in Tights, where Little John is like drowning in like a puddle. It's literally that. It's literally that. He's like, oh my God, he's like, you saved my life. It's like a puddle.
You gotta pay the toll.
Exactly.
Pad that hole.
What a classic.
So he maintained that the current was too strong for either to reach the car and find Kopechne. He even added that Gargan's arm was bruised and bloodied when he climbed out of the pond. But later on...
pond.
Yes. They keep saying it's a pond. Yeah. Must be
But
small.
the current was like
The current!
motherfucker.
But
don't
later
you know
on...
that there's no currents in ponds because it's an enclosed thing? Like there is no current because it's enclosed.
Yeah.
You can't have
True.
current from the soil. The soil that shit and currents out.
So later on, at the inquest or the investigation, the party goers, nobody testified that anybody was injured. So he said that that Gargan had a bruise and was bleeding, but nobody said that.
But I think I just cracked the case here because it's actually impossible to have a current in a pond. Ponds can't have current.
Yeah, but they might just be calling it a pond,
They might
because
just be
they're
calling
in
it
an
a pond.
island.
Okay,
there's no
because-
pond.
No, because
in an
a
island.
current can only be created by the ocean or a sea.
Exactly.
You can't have a current.
Which
in
is
ponds.
which was the case. They were in the they
There's
were
not
in an
even. There's
island.
no currents in.
note
There's
of
no
that.
currents in
I'll
lakes.
make a note of that.
Like
Stand down.
I like that. What happened after that is they basically argued. They sat there at like 1 a.m.
You fucking
And their
killed her,
buddies-
homie. He's like, fuck.
Yes,
You
no.
know who I am? I'm Kennedy.
Yeah. so Gargan and Markham, they
Sound like
argued and
Batman
said, "Hey,
characters.
yes, they do."
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, report it. Like, report this."
Yeah, that's the same
Go-
thing to do.
That's the normal thing
Yes.
to do.
Yeah,
This
that
is
is the innocent thing
So
to
okay,
do.
so Sean kills the girl.
On accident. No, I
On
didn't kill her.
accident.
We
Yeah,
crashed
no,
the
I know.
car crash.
We're your lawyers. Okay,
Okay.
Call the cops.
call the cops. It's an accident. It's
He's
an
like,
accident.
He's like, no, I can't do that.
And they were arguing, and they're, "Oh, is this good? Is this good for the family?" And is this
Yeah,
this
because there's
and
that extra thing. It's
Yes.
you don't just call the cops.
No,
like,
but isn't it?
you're
isn't
letting
it-
the world know that
Correct.
Kennedy possibly killed this girl
That's right.
that was cheating on his wife.
He's thinking
and blah,
about
blah.
running for president.
Yes,
But isn't it worse for the family to not say anything?
Well, depends if people find out or not.
I mean,
You know, can they hide it? Can they bury this?
I'm sure the records show there was only
That's the debate.
There was only
All right.
13 people on this island this day. Like,
You're all paid off.
it's like,
So-
all right, what's gonna go?
So
Who
later,
wants to make some money today?
so later on in a testimony, after Gargan and Markham failed to rescue Kopechne out of the water, Gargan implored Kennedy to report the incident, assuring his friends that he would, quote unquote, take care of it. Kennedy then, like a psychopath, Kennedy dove into the water and swam to his hotel.
Okay.
What?
Okay, wait, hold the phone. Let me just pause right now. He said the current was too strong for him to save her. But
Right.
he this swam the English Channel. Back to his
Makes no
hotel.
sense.
Correct. Now, here's what he says as the logic. The ferries were closed.
Why were you taking Mary Jo home then? If the ferry
No, at 11:40.
Yeah, that was
He was
earlier.
trying to get the last ferry.
Right.
So now it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
He's
or
like, I'm
whatever.
not staying here. I'm swimming home.
So he claimed he chose to swim across the harbor channel as he realized the last ferry had departed at midnight.
But the current was too strong to get to her in a 6 feet deep water. The current.
What's crazy to me is he sat there and watched his friends because he was so exhausted. And then
He's like-
all of a sudden, he now has the energy
He swam like
to
a
swim across
mile.
the channel to fucking Alcatraz.
How far away was the island?
I would
by the way?
love to know how far that
Yes.
channel, how far that channel
Apparently,
was.
it's not that far.
Dude.
It's not that far. Later on, Gargan testified. He said that he could do it twice.
Twice? Okay.
Yeah, I can testify that too.
But if you're drunk as shit,
The great
saying-
the great thing about
that's
No,
probably
but I mean,
hard.
but if you're going to use an excuse to be resting there for 40 minutes,
he was
he literally watched his homies. Hey, like, can you handle the chick in the bottom?
You know what he was resting for? He was resting for the swim.
Yeah.
To the hotel. He was-
No, okay. So put this in perspective. I call you. It's 1 a.m. Literally, us three. And I say, I need Sean. I need Jorge.
And I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong? Why are you calling her?
And I'm like, hey, there's a girl down in the water. And you're like,
No, but you're at the party
no,
too.
yes.
So you're
we're at the same party.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you're
God,
probably
I don't
like
like this situation.
I don't like
Exactly.
this situation. Oh, I hate this situation.
I would never be in this situation.
Yes. You guys are concerned about the girl. Like,
Of course.
yeah.
She's
I'm
the
like,
dead
hey,
one.
by the way, she's in the water.
And you're
So
looking
you're
at the
like,
back
what
of
the
the car.
fuck? And you're no. And I sit down on the bridge.
I would have thrown you in the water and be
You
you're
guys are
doing this.
jumping in to try to save her.
Me and Jorge are not accessories. This is like, I'm out.
well, by this time he's probably thinking, definitely she's dead. It's been a
100%,
long,
yes.
it's been a while.
an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So he's probably like, just let them.
Like,
Yeah,
get them out
exactly.
of here.
Right. So he's probably like sitting there. He's like, I don't know, maybe depressed, whatever, just thinking about this whole thing. So maybe that's why he's sitting there. I'm just
but
trying to
he's-
think through the situation.
Dude, he's
right?
thinking
like,
through
if
it.
you
He's
were in
thinking.
that spot,
He's thinking of
if you were
it.
in this
He's
spot.
thinking
I'm
of an
just
exit
saying.
strategy.
I'm
He's
not
like,
saying he's innocent. I'm just saying if I'm Kim, you walked back, you passed these two houses,
Past the fire station.
right? You go get your homies. Maybe he's thinking about how am I going to start covering this up, right? Starting to think
yes.
about this,
How am I
right?
going to explain this to Daddy?
Daddy Joe. Daddy
No,
Joe.
Daddy. So I'm just saying.
I hear you. I hear you.
know.
Though. I do hear you.
I'm just thinking through the situation. That's all.
Yeah, I hear. I
Anyway,
do
so
hear
then
you.
he picks up. He starts swimming.
So after swimming to Edgartown, Kennedy arrived back at his hotel at around 2 a.m.
I just let him swim back. It's so ridiculous.
So
No, it's
the
ridiculous.
timeline
It's
is
ridiculous.
so stupid. The timeline's super stupid.
What time did he arrive back?
They say that he arrived at 2 a.m. at the hotel.
So it's
He
like
says that. No.
No, this
They
is just
say.
like reports
It's
of
kinda
like
like,
him
okay,
walking in the hotel.
So this is like 2.5.
you know,
That's
like
almost
people.
2.5 hours after.
No, they left the party at 11:40.
Oh, and it was 12:40 when he was doing
When
little,
the cop-
little
the cop
reversey.
came.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Huck-
you said he was trying to catch the last ferry at 11:40.
By midnight.
Do we know when the last ferry was? Was it 12?
Midnight.
So it's at 12. Okay.
12
So he's like,
So
let's
he's
take
like
a quick
11:40.
Let's take a quick
11:40, we're
let's
gonna-
Quick detour.
quick detour. You know,
We're taking the scenic route, baby.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
we're gonna do a little some whatever, and then I'm gonna make it there by 12. Right? That
Sure.
was his plan.
Okay.
That was his plan.
But then he doesn't get back to the
Till 2
hotel
a.m.
until 2.
well, yeah, because he fell off the bridge.
Accident.
It was an accident. I missed the ferry.
I missed the ferry.
So the accident, and then he walked back, which is 20-minute walk. And he sat in the car,
Yeah.
and then he went back with his homies, and they swam for 40 minutes trying to save her.
I highly
They
doubt they
didn't.
swam for 40 minutes.
And it
I can
seems
see
like a
these
lot.
two guys being. Yeah,
Seems like a lot.
it's toast.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he apparently he got back to the hotel at 2 a.m. He did not report the accident as he promised them that he would do that. He did not. He told them the next morning and later said to the same district attorney that he couldn't bring himself to accept what had happened as reality. And I quote, he still hoped that the accident had not occurred and Miss Kopechne was alive and well.
Well, of course.
That is what he willed to happen. He acted as if she was still alive.
Okay, so this is a credible defense. I can say that.
Come on now.
I shot him, but I didn't want him to be dead. I willed him to be alive. Like,
I
This
wish,
is like crazy.
you know, and
This is
I
crazy
wish, and I
talk.
hope that I didn't shoot him and that he was still.
I
alive
realized I
and
made a
kicking.
mistake, so I decided I didn't make a mistake at all.
Have you ever had like a dream so real that you're like,
Oh, dude, totally.
Oh, 100%.
I've woke up terrified, like
So
actually,
maybe-
like terrified that I did some shit. Like, and I was like sweating, like, ah! And I was like, thank God I'm at home.
so maybe that's.
No,
I'm
but
trying to understand it.
No, but
I'm
did-
trying to
but-
understand it.
No,
But
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but no. This is just part of him trying to cover this shit
Justify
up.
it. It's trying to justify it. Yeah,
Sorry.
so Kennedy also claimed that the reason that he, Gargan, and Markham hadn't called for help the night before was because that after their failed attempts to dive down in the car, they were convinced that it was too late and there was nothing that could be done and she was already dead.
So why call the authorities? She's already dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid.
So the next morning, which is this is the crazy part of the story, which makes me hate him very much, is Kennedy appeared composed, and he woke up and he ran into a friend and a fellow participant of the regatta race,
Fellow Mason.
Ross Richards, who was the first person to see Kennedy in the morning. And Richard claimed that he seemed normal. He was well dressed. He was groomed. He had showered. And he conversed with Richards about the weather and the race and how it went. It was 7:30 in the morning.
This race was crazy.
And by that time, Kennedy still hadn't reported the accident, but he was just chit-chatting and having a fucking mimosa or whatever.
A burbo.
You know?
You care for a brandy, my friend?
So,
Bro.
anyways.
Those
So he
things are
was
good.
literally just
Tell you.
schmoozing it up at the hotel. Just
Meanwhile,
Living his life.
His life.
Meanwhile, Mary Jo Kopechne is like
Yeah.
deteriorating at the
Yeah.
bottom of the pond.
like what did it say? He was willing her to be alive. So Mary Jo's body was removed from the pond at 8:55 a.m. on July 19th. And with that, we are going to wrap up this episode on Chappaquiddick Part 1. Stay tuned for next week. Next Tuesday, we will release episode number 2. And we'll wrap this up and come to our conclusions. Thanks a bunch, guys. Talk to you next week. Hey, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @conspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.